Antarctica, one of the most mysterious and unexplored places on Earth. Just when we thought we knew all its icy secrets, we were proven wrong with more discoveries, from a vegetable that grew without sunlight to the southernmost volcano in the world. Welcome to a new video. Here are 20 shocking new discoveries in Antarctica number 15. Vegetables that grew without sunlight. Antarctica has been agreed upon as a land dedicated to research and science. It just so happens that this continent is the perfect natural laboratory where researchers can create conditions that are not possible anywhere else on Earth. One of the experiments conducted at the South Pole is Eden ISS. This ambitious project involves the creation of a greenhouse, not just any greenhouse, but one that can serve as our prototype for space agriculture, about 1,300 feet from the new German station, Mir 3. On the extra shelf that the Eden ISS greenhouse has, I have been growing a variety of crops such as tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers completely isolated from the outside world. The secret is a technique called aeroponics. Unlike typical agricultural plants, in this greenhouse, they are grown without soil. The roots are suspended in the air and sprayed with a nutrient-rich solution. This method not only conserves water, but also maximizes the plant's exposure to nutrients and oxygen, leading to impressive yields even in the harsh Antarctic winter. Scientists hoped this would be key to future long-duration space missions in the vacuum of space or on the arid surface of Mars. Astronauts won't have the luxury of resupply missions from Earth. They'll need to grow their food locally using minimal resources. The ISS Eden is paving the way by showing that it's possible to grow crops every year in a self-contained, controlled environment, even when external conditions are as unforgiving as those on another planet. If this mission is successful, we may be able to grow space salad. Number 14. The mysterious dome in the south. In 2017, a strange feature was spotted on Google Earth in Antarctica, a 400 wide dome in the heart of the frozen desert. This structure appears to be a round dome nestled between snow and ice. It is not necessary to see it today. It has fueled a wave of speculation and conspiracy theories. The image of the dome immediately spread on social media and various online platforms. Some believe that this dome is a remnant of an ancient civilization, while others believe that it is proof of extraterrestrial visits. For years, the notion that a hidden civilization could be lurking beneath the ice of Antarctica has captivated many. This idea has its roots in the belief that Antarctica, now a frozen and desolate land, was once a lush and habitable continent, possibly home to an advanced civilization. So with discoveries like this, it is not impossible for people to speculate, however. Experts believe that this supposed dome is nothing more than a natural formation known as a couga, a type of snow formation shaped by the wind. Other researchers, however, are not so sure as the shape of this supposed dome seems too deliberate. This is not the first time that satellite images have been obtained, which has led to the discovery of strange formations in Antarctica. Over the years, numerous unusual shapes and objects have been found in the region, but most of these formations remain a mystery to this day. Number 13. Fossils from 260 million years ago. Researchers at the Old Forest in Antarctica have discovered that millions of years ago, Antarctica was not the frozen landscape we see today. Geologists have discovered fossil fragments of a forest that thrived in Antarctica about 260 million years ago, long before dinosaurs roamed the Earth. This ancient forest flourished during the late Permian period, when Antarctica was still part of the supercontinent Gondwana. The fossils did not belong to ordinary beings, but were the remains of trees that once grew in what are now the Transantarctic Mountains of Antarctica. Among them was the Glossopteris, a tree with large tongue-shaped leaves that fell off every winter. These trees were incredibly resilient, adapting to the harsh polar extremes of continuous daylight in the summer and perpetual darkness in the winter. Unlike modern trees that take months to prepare for seasonal changes, these ancient trees could switch from active growth to dormancy almost instantly, a survival mechanism that remains a mystery to scientists. These trees flourished just before the permanent Triassic extinction event, also known as the Great Extinction, which occurred about 251 million years ago. This event was the most severe mass extinction in Earth's history, wiping out an estimated 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial life. The remains of these trees are allowing scientists to learn more about how life on our planet responds to its ongoing change. Who knows? Perhaps in time, Antarctica's frozen landscape could return to the lush forest it once was again. Number 12. The world's southernmost bar. I bet the Faraday bar is the last thing you'd expect to find on a continent with a population of just 5,000, most of whom are researchers and scientists, but nestled in the icy expanse of Galinda Island in Antarctica is the world's southernmost bar within the Burnetsky Research Base. This small but legendary establishment was originally built by British carpenters who, after building the station, decided to use the leftover wood to create a cozy pub that would remind them of home. In 1996, Ukraine took over the station, but they kept the bar top of mind. Am I right? The bar, which looks more like a British pub, is decked out with an eclectic mix of souvenirs, trinkets, and even items of clothing that people trade for 3 shots of locally distilled vodka. It's a strange tradition. And yes, you heard that. The bar distills its own vodka on site, making it the most remote distillery in the world. Scientists and casual visitors alike can warm up with a shot of this homemade liquor, a necessity in such an isolated environment. Despite its remote location, the Faraday bar has become a popular spot not only for the station's scientists, but also for tourists who dare to explore the frozen landscape of the South Pole. Number 11. Researchers find a lost world that existed millions of years ago. It is hidden beneath the East Antarctic ice sheet, a lost world frozen in time for 14 million years. The discovery was made using advanced satellite imagery and radio echo sounding technology that revealed a vast preserved landscape with ancient river valleys and mountain ridges, in which this region that once supported a tundra-like ecosystem was abruptly plunged into an eternal freeze due to a dramatic climate cooling about 14 million years ago. With this discovery, we can once again study the organisms that flourished in this harsh landscape millions of years ago. Number 10. Algae that traveled 12,500 m to Antarctica. A bunch of algae that was washed away by the ocean thousands of miles may not be impressive, but there's a reason why this discovery has researchers excited. In 2018, researchers found that seaweed from distant oceans traveled an astonishing 12,500 miles to Antarctica. But what does that mean? It shows that marine life, including worms and snails, could use these algae as rafts to colonize the frozen continent. The algae were found on the Antarctic coast far from their usual habitat in sub-Antarctic regions like South Georgia and Kulin. You see, we believe that algae would not be able to pass the Antarctic polar front, a formidable barrier created by powerful winds and currents, but somehow a group of algae managed to overcome storms and large waves. They seem to have provided the strength needed to propel these algae across these boundaries. As Antarctica's climate becomes more hospitable, these algae could transport a variety of species to its shores, leading to significant changes in local ecosystems. Researchers are now concerned that Antarctica, long considered isolated and unique, may be more vulnerable to invasive species than we ever imagined. This could dramatically alter the delicate balance of life in this pristine region. Number 09. Bacteria under the ice causes water to turn crimson red. Antarctica, the coldest and most desolate continent in the world, is home to one of nature's strangest spectacles. Blood Falls, located at the snout of Taylor Glacier. Blood Falls is exactly what it looks like, a body of water with crimson liquid falling down. It was first discovered in 1911 by geologist Thomas Griffith Taylor, who initially thought red algae was responsible for the color. However, it wasn't until later that scientists discovered the true cause of a hidden iron-rich subglacial lake. It turns out that when the iron and salt-rich water of this ancient reservoir comes into contact with oxygen for the first time, it oxidizes, turning the water a deep, rusty red. In recent research, scientists once again discovered that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg with this discovery. The source of the water is no ordinary underground lake. It's a lake that has been cut off from light and oxygen for over 1 million years, creating an environment that at first glance seems completely inhospitable. But it turns out this isolated ecosystem is teeming with life. Microbial communities known as extremophiles thrive in the dark, super salty environment. These tiny organisms have adapted to survive without sunlight, relying instead on iron and sulfur in the water for energy. Studies of this unique ecosystem continue to this day. Number 08. Scientists discover largest volcanic region on Earth. A scientist from the University of Edinburgh discovered something beneath the icy expanse of Antarctica, the largest volcanic region in the world. Yes, you heard that. Scientists found not just one volcano, but nearly 100 of them, with heights ranging from 325 feet to a staggering 12,600 feet. These volcanoes are part of the West Antarctic Rift System, a geologically active zone that could have significant implications for our understanding of Earth's geological processes. If these volcanoes were to erupt, they could destabilize the Antarctic ice sheet potentially and accelerate global sea level rise. These discoveries were only possible because of advanced technology with more advanced radar that can penetrate Antarctic ice. Who knows what else will be discovered at the South Pole? Number 207. Mysterious particles. Detected deep in Antarctica's icy expanse. Scientists have discovered something that defies the laws of physics. Since 2016, energetic particles have been mysteriously shooting out of the Antarctic ice. These particles have been detected by the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, or ANITA for short, a NASA experiment that involved a balloon-mounted detector. Researchers were quite surprised to detect these particles in the first place, as in theory, it should be nearly impossible to detect neutrinos. The particles in question usually pass straight through matter without interacting with it, just like ghosts can pass through walls. But these Antarctic neutrinos somehow not only pass through the Earth, but also emerge through the ice. If they have passed through the planet, then basically these particles defy what we know about physics. Scientists initially thought that these neutrinos could come from cosmic accelerators, massive objects in space like black holes or gamma explosions that could throw these particles towards Earth. However, no such sources exist. They were found after extensive research using IceCube, another Antarctic neutrino detector. These have left physicists impressed, as the events described by ANITA should not be happening based on our current understanding of the universe. This means that these mysterious neutrinos could be a sign of something completely new, a fourth type of neutrino, or perhaps even evidence of dark matter or a parallel universe. What exciting yet terrifying possibilities. Number 06. The deepest land point on Earth. Denman Glacier Canyon in Antarctica has recently been discovered to be the deepest land point on the planet. This canyon plunges to an astonishing 11,000 feet below sea level, much deeper than a Dead Sea. Previously known as the lowest exposed land point on the planet, the discovery was made using the Bed Machine project, a detailed topological map created by combining measurements of ice movement, seismic data, and radar. Imaging these findings allows us to expand our understanding of the least explored continent on Earth. Number 05. The McMurdo Dry Valleys. One of the most extreme deserts in the world, one of the most inhospitable places on Earth, also known as the Valley of the Dead, are the McMurdo Dry Valleys. Unlike the rest of Antarctica, these valleys are largely free of ice and snow, creating an arid landscape that looks more like Mars than our planet. The valleys are home to the Onyx River, the longest river in Antarctica that is fed solely by melting glaciers and has become a vital subject of study for climate researchers. Despite their desolate appearance, the dry valleys have become one of the best places on the planet for scientific research. The valleys are whipped by katabatic winds that reach 200 miles per hour. In an environment so different from the rest of our planet, researchers believe exploring the valleys is key to learning more about extraterrestrial exploration. Number 04. Lake Vostok. The largest subglacial lake, Lake Vostok is another unique environment found in the south. You see, this lake is not ordinary. This body of water was discovered in the 1990s through radar imaging. It is because this lake is not exposed to the surface, but is a subglacial lake that has been isolated from the rest of the world for over 15 million years. With a surface area comparable to Lake Ontario, Vostok is a time capsule that potentially houses ancient life forms adapted to extreme living conditions that has evolved in complete isolation from the rest of the planet. Planetary scientists believe that if life can thrive in the extremely oxygen-deprived environment of Lake Vostok, it could also exist in similar conditions on moons like Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Enceladus, which is why, since its discovery, researchers have been taking samples from the lake to study it. In 2012, Russian researchers finally drilled through the ice to reach the lake and confirmed that there were traces of microbes in the water. Today, the investigation continues, and researchers are still eager to learn more about this hidden body of water. Number 03. Hidden world beneath Antarctica. Beneath the thick, icy crust of Antarctica, scientists have discovered a secret ecosystem thriving more than 1,600 feet below the surface. The creatures you're seeing on camera are beings that have never been seen before. This hidden world was found in an underground river that flows beneath the Larsen ice shelf, where life persists in complete darkness, isolated from the rest of the world. For thousands of years, the ecosystem is home to a variety of tiny organisms, including strange shrimp-like creatures and other microorganisms that survive in extreme conditions. However, unlike other species, these creatures survived without receiving sunlight, relying instead on chemical processes such as chemosynthesis, where bacteria convert minerals from the surrounding water into energy. How have these organisms adapted to such harsh and isolated conditions? What secrets could they hold about the origins of life itself? These are the mysteries that scientists are now eager to unravel. Number 2. Moss's Huts. Built between 1911 and 1914 by the Australasian Antarctic Expedition, led by the legendary Sir Douglas Mawson, Moss's Hut served as the nerve center for one of the most scientifically ambitious expeditions of its time. The huts are located at Cape Denison, known as the windiest place on Earth, where the average wind speed here is a staggering 44 miles per hour, with gusts often reaching much higher. This relentless wind, coupled with temperatures that can drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius, has helped preserve the huts, with much of the interior encased in ice. But this ice has also protected the artifacts within, despite the brutal cold and relentless katabatic winds that can roar down from the polar plateau at over 200 miles per hour. The huts remain remarkably battered. The main hut, a 24-foot prefabricated wooden structure, served as living quarters for Mawson and his 18-man crew, with a kitchen, dining room, bedrooms, and even a darkroom for photographic work. The hut was both home and laboratory. The preservation of these huts has been a monumental task thanks to the efforts of the Mawson Huts Foundation and the Australian Antarctic Division. These structures remain a tribute to the explorers who braved unimaginable conditions in the name of science. Today, they are protected by international law and are considered one of only 6 remaining structures from the heroic era of Antarctic exploration. Number 01. The world's southernmost volcano. Rising to a staggering height of 12,448 feet on Ross Island is Mount Erebus, the southernmost volcano on the planet. Here, fire and ice merge. Mount Erebus is one of the places on Earth where you can witness a persistent lake of lava bubbling within its crater, a rare and spectacular phenomenon. This volcano was first discovered in 1841 by Captain James Clark Ross, who named it after his ship HMS Erebus. It was clear from the start that this was no ordinary volcano. Erebus has been continuously active for around 1.3 million years, and its summit crater is home to one of only 5 long-lived lava lakes in the world. This fiery cauldron of molten rock is a hotbed of volcanic activity, constantly spewing gases and occasionally erupting with strombolian explosions. The volcano is located in one of the most active volcanic belts in Antarctica, and its eruptions have been closely monitored since the 1970s. Thanks to its proximity to McMurdo Station, the largest research station on the continent, scientists have a front-row seat to study its ongoing activity with modern technology, including satellite imagery that helps track lava lakes and monitor thermal activity, ensuring researchers can quickly spot any oddities occurring at this isolated volcano. We've reached the end of this video. Tell us what you think in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time.